When you manage your high net worth clients, do they ever think like or act in such a way of like, okay, I have $10 million with you guys. I'm just going to take like 500 grand over here and put in like Pepe coin. Or do you stop them from doing that?
No,
do you ever see anything
we
like that?
have
And you're like,
people-
oh, all the progress we made,
No,
it's all
no,
gone.
it's all
Blink of an
gone.
eye.
Again, a lot of the folks who actually come and work with us listen to the show. So they're like fans of personal finance. They love this stuff. They live and breathe this stuff. So a lot of folks like the idea of having this little play account. Hey, I want to go invest in Bitcoin, or I want to go do micro strategies, or I want to go buy individual stocks. And we're totally okay if you want to have that with a portion of your portfolio and you want to have that be a play account. We have no fault with that at all. Where it becomes an issue is when that becomes a large part of what you're doing, because now you're putting your actual financial plan at risk. So it's not uncommon for clients of ours to have like a side play account where they're still able to get the utility they get from trying to implement those strategies.
How often do you say no?
When us saying yes would breach our fiduciary duty to the client. So if a client says, hey, I appreciate all this guidance you're giving, but what I want to do is I want to take 75% of my portfolio and go buy Bitcoin. What we'll say is, hey, at the end of the day, you're the CEO. This is your money. You're in charge of it. We are the CFO that you employ to help you navigate your financial strategy. But I cannot, in the fiduciary capacity, say, hey, it's in your best interest for you to take 75% of your portfolio and put it in Bitcoin. So perhaps it does not make sense for us to work together. And that's okay.
And you'll break the...
Yeah, because we are not going to do something that's not in our client's best interest, even if they tell us it's what they want to do. Or, hey, I want to sell all of my portfolio. I want to go buy, a $20 million dream house. Okay, you can totally do that. But if you're going to do that, you're not really following our guidance. There's no reason you should pay us for advice that you don't want to take and you don't want to implement.
And how often do they actually sever that after that conversation is had?
Again, our clients are pretty astute, so we don't run into this a lot. This is a fairly, we'll have clients ask us questions, then we'll walk them through why we think it's not the best thing. And normally they're pretty pragmatic. They'll arrive at that same place.
We tell people you vote with your feet, and the fact that nothing keeps our clients here. Every year they don't, it's not like they have to stay with us. We have to add value or they don't stay.
Have you ever given any bad advice?
No. It's
looking back in hindsight.
It's an interesting, when you say bad advice, what do you mean? Like advice that the client did not like? Because like this
advice that maybe turned out to be incorrect.
Well, you can't say because look, we all could look. I'll just spot check something right now.
Yeah.
If you got a client and they had a fully concentrated portfolio of NVIDIA,
that's the one I was gonna say.
Oh, no.
I mean, and you tell them, hey, the right thing to protect your long-term net worth is let's start diversifying this. Is that a bad decision or is that the right decision? You know what I mean? Because it is, we all know what's happened now. I mean, the last 3 years have been a rocket show.
Does he ever call you and just be like, hey, remember that time you told me to sell NVIDIA and now it's 20x?
Every time I meet with him, we have that conversation. But we put together a plan to slowly divest. We still has a lot of exposure there.
Yeah.
Just not as much as he would have had. And yes, he likes to remind me of how much he missed out on.
But it's back to that
But he's still with you?
Yeah, absolutely.
But you think about those Lucent executives I used to work with, we've seen the other side of that. We all, it's easy in hindsight. It's kind of, we reacted to a video where they put up every FANG stock, is out there, plus, and, they added everything that's been a high flyer and said, why would you buy the S&P 500? And the guy loved his response. He's like, and if you grew wings, you could fly, because nobody knows. Hindsight always looks one way. All we can do is take the variables we have, give you the best advice, and we make the decision together. But of course, things like that, where a concentrated portfolio, you always run the risk that concentrated portfolio could do very well, but you're helping the client protect the core, that they're not going to go broke and go back to poverty because they were overly concentrated.
I have a very dear client who he began working for this startup, and early on as part of this comp package, he was given options for this startup. Startup ended up doing very well. This is before he was a client. Startup ended up doing very well. He ended up with those options being valued at over $5 million. But he was like, man, this thing is going to go to the moon. This is only the beginning. This is only the beginning. And he held them. A year or two later, company ended up tanking, ultimately went out of business. Options expired, worthless. So we went from $5 million worth of options to worthless. And he recognized he hired us after all this happened. He recognized that, man, I'm never going to do that again. I recognize that even though I had won the game, had I begun to diversify, had I begun to liquidate, I would be at the financial independence point. But because I didn't do that, Now I've got to go retrace that. So even like with the client in NVIDIA, if you would have left it all in NVIDIA, yeah, he'd be 20x, 30x right now. But if it didn't work out, he would not be financially independent. Whereas
it's
now
that balance
he's still,
of fear and greed.
That's right.
The fear and greed is a legitimate thing that humans struggle with immensely.
So that was kind of alluding to what I said earlier in the conversation. It's like, at what point would you say the law of diminishing return really hits? You said $5 million. Would you say that's about winning the game? After that amount, you really shouldn't like...
It depends on, so we have clients who are financially independent, who live and who do everything they want to do the way they want to do it, and they have less than $1 million invested because that's where their lifestyle is.
Think about teachers. Think about people with pensions. I mean, you don't have to have a huge portfolio and have an incredible life. But then there's other people that they just spend a lot of money. I mean, I know
we have clients who have $10 million with us who are not yet financially independent and are not close based on the lifestyle that they want to live. So it's very much subjective and it's very much personal for that person. So what we try to figure out with our clients is, okay, what's the standard of living that you want to live? Like when you think about financial independence and where you want to be, what standard is that? Is that 15 a month, 20 a month, 10 a month? What's that number? Okay, then once we get to that number, once we're beginning to approach that number, we kind of lock in, okay, at this point, there's no point in taking excessive risk that could potentially derail the plan and us not be successful.
What would you guys say is your kind of number that you want to hit in monthly income, if you're fine saying it?
You talking about for us personally?
For you personally, yeah. Is there like an amount that you'd feel comfortable with?
We're building more, not so much in the pursuit of financial independence. We're building because of the impact we're able to have both through the show as well as through our employees. You know, and it used to be there were 3 of us, right? There was, us 2, and there was an admin, and now we have 40 folks, and eventually we'll probably have 100 folks. It's really fun. You already alluded to this, getting to see our people buy houses, start families, advance in their careers. So for us, that's more the motivating factor now, and being able to help more clients and more people to the show than like personal financial independence.
I don't mind sharing that I don't have to work anymore. I mean, I'm kind of at the point where, I've paid off most of the debts. I've got everything on a good place. But I think about the fact of how much joy I get from life, from my people. I come in here, but everybody knows I'm the vortex of Slack, meaning that when I show up in your office and I talk to you, productivity just goes to the tank. I mean, I just love walking around talking to the folks here. I love watching, like I said, when people get married, when they have babies, when they buy houses. There's something really good about that. And how often do you hear about, what was it? All over my social media feed is this thing, I don't even know if it's true, but the guy who invented Minecraft and he got the billions of dollars and now he supposedly went through some depression because he got $2.5 billion and then didn't have the thing that brought him so much happiness. Money is only a tool. And that's one I try to, and I think that's why we're good shepherds or good stewards for people, is that when people think that the number is going to be what makes them fulfilled, I'm always there to be the counterbalance and be like, I think you really need to focus on what you actually get value out of in life. What's happiness? Because if you're just doing it for the number, I can tell you once you reach that number, if that's all it was, you will find it's very empty. And I don't mean to make light of that, but it's one of those things where, for me, the enterprise of watching to see what we can create and the impact we're having gives me more fulfillment than beyond the dollar signs at this point.
Life insurance is one of those things that makes sense for a lot of people out there, but most people just put it off because it feels complicated, expensive, or time-consuming, but it doesn't have to be, thanks to our sponsor, Fabric.
Fabric by Gerber Life is term life insurance that you can get done today. It's made for busy parents like you. It's all online, it's on your schedule, right from your couch. You could be covered in under 10 minutes with no health exam required.
If you have kids, and especially if you're young and healthy, the time to lock in a low rate is now. And even if you have life insurance through your employer, it may not offer you enough protection for your family, and it usually does not follow you if you leave your job. Fabric offers flexible, high-quality policies that fit your family and your budget, including options like $1 million in coverage for less than $1 a day.
Fabric is partnered with Gerber Life, trusted by millions of families for over 50 years. There's no risk, and they even have a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you can cancel at any time. Fabric also has free digital wills, tools to invest in your kid's future, and more, all right from your phone.
Join the thousands of parents who trust Fabric to protect their family. Apply today in just minutes at meetfabric.com/ICHclips.
Again, that's meetfabric.com/ICHclips. MEET fabric.com/ICHclips. The link is also down below in the description. Enjoy.